Hey YouTube, Common Collector here, and I am super excited to be bringing you guys this update to my Chaos Max Drytron deck profile. Now, for those of you guys who are wondering, I still am going to be doing an update on the Drytron fairy deck, but I just have not gotten to that yet. But I really just want to make sure that that profile is absolutely perfect for you guys. I'm really happy how this one turned out. It is a great improvement over the first profile that I did for this, since we got the new support in Lightning Overdrive, and Geonator Transverser got a nice little rarity bump in the OTS 16, and she is like the heart and soul of the deck besides the Chaos Max Dragon. So without any further ado, I think we should just get right on into this deck profile. If you guys enjoyed this one, make sure that you guys are subscribed to the channel and like the video, and yeah, let's just get right into this. So we're obviously playing 3 copies of the Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon. So this is a going second deck, obviously. When it comes to games like 2 and 3, your opponent's going to try to make you go first. So there is a lot of different ways that you can make a going first board, which is really nice. Chaos Max Dragon has a little bit of protection, but the main reason why he is here is because he can really easily OTK, because when he attacks a defense position monster, he can inflict double piercing damage, which is exactly 8,000 damage. So there's a lot of really cool plays that you can do with the Drytrons because they do have 0 defense. So we will get to those a little bit later. Then we're playing 2 copies of the Blue Eyes Chaos Dragon. This is one card that you could cut down to just 1 copy, but I like playing the 2 because I do play trade in the deck, because we have so many level 8s. 1 copy of the Blue Eyes Alternative Dragon, and then also obviously 3 copies of the OG Blue Eyes White Dragon. I like playing a whole bunch of different rarities when I play with any kind of Blue Eyes deck, but you guys can play whatever are your guys' favorite arts. Then for the Drytron engine, we're playing 3 copies of the Drytron Alpha. We have so many ritual monsters in this deck that we're really able to get a lot of value out of Alpha. You're generally just going to be doing a 1-turn shot, trying to punch your opponent right in the face. But, well, not literally, but with the Chaos Max Dragon, it kind of can feel like that. But with the Alpha, it's just really nice. You get a lot of value out of him. You can search for a ritual monster every single turn if you do get into a little bit more of a grind game. And if your opponent does understand how Drytrons work and they really are playing around the Chaos Max, then you actually can get into a pretty big grind. Then we're going to go into our 3 copies of Zeta. He's actually almost more important than your Alpha because it's really, really easy to get into your Chaos Max, but getting to your ritual spells is really important. And we're also playing multiples of the ritual spells, so we're able to utilize him. He's really good for a backup play with the Chaos Form ritual spell, which we will get to in a little bit later. 1 copy of the Delta and 1 copy of Gamma. I know that a lot of people are playing 2 Gammas nowadays, but this deck does run a little bit differently than the big time fairy deck. So if you're running it with the Herald of Ultimateness and everything, you're going to want 2 of these, but I really think that just 1 in this deck is fine. Then for the fairy engine, we are still running a fairy engine in here. We're playing for Cyber Angels, we're playing the Benten, Idaten, and Izana. Izana is literally just in here because she's a level 8. So another discard, fodder for trade-in. But it's just really nice because you can easily add it to the hand with the Benten. And then it is also just another discard target for a tribute target for any of your Drytrons. There's just a lot of application. Or you can just even hard summon it out with the Drytron ritual spell. Now this is another really big change from the new Drytron decks that everyone's playing, but you only need 2 Diviner of the Herald for this particular build, mainly because, like I said, it's super easy to get into your spells and your monsters with this deck. Diviner is in here in a really cool way that you're actually not even using her half the time to search for a ritual spell or monster by pitching the Herald of Herald of the Arclight. You're generally actually going to be sending the Elder Entity Natis, which will help you to break your opponent's board a little bit and be able to make sure to get rid of any problem cards. So this is actually a nice going second card rather than going first and trying to pitch the Herald of the Arclight for any, adding stuff to your hand. But for the ritual spells, we're then going to be playing 1 copy of Meteonis Drytron, 1 advanced ritual art, and then, like I said, our backup card is the Chaos Form. So basically the advanced ritual art is going to pitch Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck into the graveyard, and then Chaos Form is going going to let you banish Blue Eyes in order to get another ritual summon off, which is really cool. Then we have the Meteonis Drytron, which is able to recur itself back to your hand, and you can use this for all types of purposes. You can use this to bring back Cyber Angel Benton on your field. Summon off the Izana. So one really good play that you can do is you can pitch Benton off for for your Zeta, add a ritual spell to your hand, so you add the Meteonis Drytron, activate this again, summon Benton back to the field, and then tribute the Benton for a Gamma or something, getting another fairy to your hand. Then you activate this Engrave, which will add it back to your hand. Then you can if you had searched off the Cyber Angel Izana or Ideten, then you can summon that to the field with your Meteonis Drytron, add a ritual spell, so then you can add the advanced ritual art, and then you can just go off with your Blue Eyes play. So there's a lot of really cool application with all of these in here. For the rest of the Drytron engine, we're playing 1 copy of Drytron Fafnir, and then 3 copies of Drytron Nova. You can mess around with ratios a lot with this deck. I believe in my previous build, I was playing just 2 copies of Nova. It's just a nice little budget option. But for this, I just figured I would max out on everything that I wanted to. Then we're going on into 3 copies of Cyber Emergency. It is just a really great another way to get another Drytron into your hand. And then we are playing 3 copies of Trade-In, as I aforementioned. It's just really nice to be able to dig through the deck. If you draw into one of these in your opening hand, and then you have the Delta, as well as the Nightmare Engine in the extra deck, it allows you to really draw through the deck really quickly, which is amazing. Then another card that really can add a lot of stuff to your hand is 2 copies of Melody of the Awakening Dragon. This is my main searcher for this is generally going to be one of the ritual monsters, or just the vanilla Blue Eyes, and then the Blue Eyes alternative dragon in case I need to break through another one of my opponent's cards on the board. 1 copy of Foolish Burial. It's maybe one of the most cuttable cards in the deck if you're looking to add more going second cards like Forbidden Droplet or anything like that, Regeki, whatever you want to do. Then 1 copy of Called by the Grave, as well as 1 instant fusion. As long as Droll and Lockbird is in the format, which especially nowadays with the probably what I would still say is the more stronger Drytron deck is the one that plays the Herald of Ultimateness. You definitely still need these 2 cards in order to prevent the Droll and Lockbird, which everyone is very prepared for this deck, so you need those cards in order to compete. Going on into the extra deck, like I said, the absolute heart and soul of the deck, apart from the Chaos Dragon, is Geonator Transverser. This card is just really pivotal to the deck because, along with the next card, which is Relinquished Anima, because if you're playing both of these cards in the deck, then this literally means that only your opponent's leftmost zone to you is the only safe zone, because if they summon into either zone that is above either of the extra monster zones or the ones that are immediately over to the right, then you're able to use Geonator Transverser to steal the monster, or you can use Relinquished Anima to add it as an equip card. So it's just really amazing that these 2 cards, if you combo these in any extra deck, it just makes your opponent's field super duper vulnerable, which is really, really cool. And the Geonator Transverser, basically the combo that you can do with this is that if your opponent leaves something in this zone or the one on the far right, then you can just get out Geonator Transverser, have Transverser pointing to a Drytron in defense, swap the monsters, and then you are able to just attack with your Chaos Max Dragon for lethal damage, which is really crazy. Then we have 1 copy of Link Karibo. It's probably one of your best going first plays, as well as it's really nice with the arrow pointing down for your Nightmare plays. 1 copy of IP Masquerena, which allows us to go into stuff like Appaloosa. Then for the Nightmare engine, we are playing the full engine with Cerberus, Phoenix, and Unicorn, which is, this is just incredible. I already explained this in the previous one, but if you are able to just get out a whole bunch of Drytron monsters onto the field, as well as like the Cyber Angel, Ideten, or Izana, whatever you get onto the field, you can use them as link fodder, and then go into the Link Karibo, go into Phoenix, pop a back row, take the Link Karibo on another monster to go into Cerberus, and then use another monster with Phoenix to go into Unicorn, and you can draw 3 cards, which is just incredible. One copy of Appaloosa. The only other thing that I would probably change in here, these are the last of the Link monsters. You could maybe add in something like Borrelsword Dragon or the Access Code Talker. I just didn't really have space for it here in the extra deck, but that would be the only thing that I would maybe change. It did come up like a few times in testing, but yeah, otherwise I think that this deck is pretty good at getting out enough power. But if your opponent is stopping you from getting out the Chaos Max, then getting into like a Borrelsword Dragon is pretty nice. One copy of the Mu Beta Fafnir. The Fucho, this is your absolute best going first play. If your opponent like forces you to go first, you just go into a Fucho, and then your opponent really can't do anything unless like they have Kaijus or something. One copy of Beatrice, a Hope Harbinger, which is another good going first play, as well as we have double A Zeus, which is just a really great way to blow up boards if you can't really get your Chaos Max engine going for you. Then we have one Herald of the Arclight, one Elder Entity Natis, and one Millennium Eyes Restrict. Now, again, this is a little bit different from what you see in the normal Drytron builds, but for this Chaos Max build, you really only need one of each of these because, again, we're only playing 2 copies of the Diviner. You're going to go into the Natis way more often, so you will generally be summoning the Natis for your first turn, and then like if your opponent like can break your board and stuff, then you just have like a Herald of the Arclight for a backup play if you're just trying to get off like one last search to be able to push for game. So I think it still works rather than playing like 2 copies of Natis or something, and I just didn't want to clog up the extra deck too much, but I think that this extra deck is still really, really solid. So anyways, guys, I think that's going to do it for this Chaos Max deck profile. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I think that this was a really, really fun one. It's been a lot of fun picking this back up, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Again, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. I'll have links down in the description to the Facebook group, my Instagram, as well as the Patreon and everything. So go ahead and check out everything else that you guys desire, and thank you guys again so much for joining here. Common Collector out. Peace.